Lesson 96. A few. Few. Feel sorry for someone. What's the difference between a few and few?
The difference between a few and few is that a few simply means not many, whereas few often expresses the idea of not enough or fewer than expected.
What do we mean if we say there were few people at the party last night?
If we say there were few people at the party last night, we mean that there were not enough people at the party, or that there were fewer people than we had expected.
Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had few friends?
Yes, I'd feel sorry for someone who said that they had few friends.
Would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had a few friends?
No, I wouldn't feel sorry for someone who said that they had a few friends.
In this town, are there few good restaurants, a few good restaurants, or many good restaurants?
In this town there are a few good restaurants.
A little. Little. What's the difference between a little and little?
The difference between a little and little is that a little simply means not much, whereas little often expresses the idea of not enough or less than expected.
What do I mean if I say I have little milk in my fridge?
If you say you have little milk in your fridge, you mean that you don't have enough milk in your fridge.
Do you think you have little free time, a little free time, or a lot of free time?
I think I have a little free time.
Press. Control. Such. What am I doing?
You're pressing your thumb on the table.
What does this sentence mean? I had to press him for the money I'd lent him.
That sentence means that I had to keep asking him for it back.
Can we always believe everything we read about famous people in the press?
No, we can't always believe everything we read about famous people in the press.
Do you think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people?
Yes, I think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people.
Step. Step off. About how many steps would you have to take to walk from one end of this room to the other?
I'd have to take about 8 steps to walk from one end of this room to the other.
What might happen if you stepped off a bus while it was still moving?
If I stepped off a bus while it was still moving, I might fall.
Do you have to walk up any steps to enter this building?
Yes, I have to walk up some steps to enter this building.
Would it be a big step for you to go and live in another country?
Yes, it'd be a big step for me to go and live in another country.
Bill. Come to. Per. Quarter. Pass. A law. Act. If a couple go to a restaurant together, do you think they should each pay half the bill?
No, if a couple go to a restaurant together, I don't think they should each pay half the bill.
Why not?
Because I think it's nice for the man to pay.
About how much does your phone or electricity or gas bill generally come to per month or per quarter, etc.?
My phone bill generally comes to about £25 per month.
What happens to a bill after it has been passed by Parliament?
After a bill has been passed by Parliament, it becomes an act.
Used to. When do we use the words used to, and what does it mean?
We use the words used to for a habit or repeated action in the past, especially when the action is now finished.
Give me an example, please.
I used to go to the cinema a lot when I was a child.
Did you used to speak English better in the past than you speak it now?
No, I didn't used to speak English better in the past than I speak it now. I used to speak it worse.
Did you used to eat a lot of sweets when you were a child?
Yes, I used to eat a lot of sweets when I was a child.
BC, AD, Christ, Lord. What do the letters BC mean?
The letters BC mean before Christ.
What do the letters AD mean?
The letters AD mean Anno Domini, from the Latin meaning after Christ.
Trial. When someone is on trial, do they have to promise to tell the truth in court?
Yes, when someone is on trial, they have to promise to tell the truth in court.
Is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial?
No, it isn't wise to judge something before we give it a trial.
Why not?
Because we could make the wrong decision.
Introduce. From abroad. What would you like to see introduced into your country from abroad?
I'd like to see more foreign food introduced into my country from abroad.
Lesson 97. Not. Either. Can we use the words also, as well, and to in negative sentences?
No, we can't use the words also, as well, and to in negative sentences.
Which word do we use instead?
We use the word either instead.
Give me an example, please.
He doesn't watch TV or listen to the radio either.
Do you live in this school?
No, I don't live in this school.
Do the other students live in this school?
No, the other students don't live in this school either.
Can you speak Chinese?
No, I can't speak Chinese.
Can you speak Japanese?
No, I can't speak Japanese either.
Will you come here next Saturday?
No, I won't come here next Saturday.
Will you come here next Sunday?
No, I won't come here next Sunday either.
Definitely. Tell me something that you know you'll definitely do next weekend.
I know that I'll definitely go swimming next weekend.
Adventure. Would you like to live a life of adventure?
Yes, I'd like to live a life of adventure.
Why?
Because it would be interesting.
Seed. What does a seed need to grow in a garden?
A seed needs water to grow in a garden.
Present continuous for the future. Arrange. Make an arrangement. What's the difference between we're going to go to the theatre and we're going to the theatre?
The difference between we're going to go to the theatre and we're going to the theatre is that we're going to go to the theatre communicates that it is our intention to go, whereas we're going to the theatre communicates that the visit has already been arranged. We already have the tickets, for example.
Have you made any arrangements for this afternoon or evening?
No, I haven't made any arrangements for this afternoon or evening.
Are you coming to school tomorrow?
Yes, I'm coming to school tomorrow.
Are you going away next weekend?
No, I'm not going away next weekend.
Do you know what she is doing after the lesson?
No, I don't know what she is doing after the lesson.
Ask her, please.
What are you doing after the lesson?
Bear, bore, born. What's another verb we can use instead of the verb to carry?
Another verb we can use instead of the verb to carry is the verb to bear.
What are the three forms of bear?
The three forms of bear are bear, bore, born.
Do you think you could bear the weight of this table on your back?
No, I don't think I could bear the weight of this table on my back.
What kind of things can't you bear?
The kind of things I can't bear are too much noise.
Who was the last child your mother bore?
The last child my mother bore was my brother.
What's the greatest physical pain you've ever borne?
The greatest physical pain I've ever borne was childbirth.
On, upon. What's the difference between the words on and upon?
There's no difference between the words on and upon, except that the word on is much more common.
Whole. On the whole. Could you eat a whole chicken?
No, I couldn't eat a whole chicken.
Would you say that, on the whole, life was better today than it was in the past?
Yes, I'd say that on the whole, life was better today than it was in the past.
Have you ever spent a whole week in bed because you've been ill?
Yes, I've spent a whole week in bed because I've been ill.
Possessive case for people's homes. If you go to stay at a friend's for one night, do you take a lot of luggage with you?
No, if I go to stay at a friend's for one night, I don't take a lot of luggage with me.
Account for. What does the verb to account for mean?
The verb to account for means to explain the reason for.
Do governments usually have to account to the public for all the money they spend?
Yes, governments usually have to account to the public for all the money they spend.
Education. Do you think parents should have some control over the education of their children?
Yes, I think parents should have some control over the education of their children.
Northern. Southern. Eastern. Western. State. What are the adjectives of the nouns north, south, east and west?
The adjectives of the nouns north, south, east and west are northern, southern, eastern and western.
Name me a northern European country, please.
Finland is a northern European country.
Tell me the name of a southern state in the USA.
The name of a southern state in the USA is Texas.
Does the state in your country give free education?
Yes, the state in my country gives free education.
Is Russia a Western European country?
No, Russia isn't a Western European country, it's an Eastern European country.
Sign. Religion. When we fill in a form, do we normally have to sign our name at the bottom?
Yes, when we fill in a form, we normally have to sign our name at the bottom.
What kind of sign am I making?
You're making a sign which means come here.
If a man has rough skin on his hands, what is that probably a sign of?
If a man has a rough skin on his hands, it's probably a sign that he does physical work or works with his hands.
What is the sign of the Christian religion?
The cross is the sign of the Christian religion.
Dry cleaners.